Wembley, last round. Thought I'd catch up with these two guys. They've been busy right across the tour. You know, you guys have been busy putting the hours in, building the tracks. Can we just touch on a few? Well, first of all, if we touch on Wembley, just discuss the difficulties, let's say, of building a course as such, and why you designed the track as it is.
Okay.
For this round.
Problems with Wembley. The biggest problem with Wembley. Number one, it's a narrow arena. Yep. And number two, it's a suspended floor. So underneath the track is actually the swimming pool from the Olympic Games, which is about 100 years ago, because the building's about 100 years old this week, I think they said. So that presents a problem because we can't bring dirt down the arena, basically, otherwise it will fall into the swimming pool below us. So even underneath the finish jump, that's aquapropped underneath us to stop basically the floor giving way, and even there presents some problems because you've got to make it exactly to the same square as what the propping is underneath, and you have an engineer that comes in to survey that to make sure. So we've had to like chip away at it and chip away at it and chip away at it. So it is difficult, and you know, poor Alfie has to push every load of dirt down here. We can only travel with certain machines at a certain distance all the way down. So basically the back end of the track only gets built with a skid steer and a little dozer. So
that in itself is obviously an extra task, right?
Yeah. On the way in, and obviously we've got to get it all back out as well in the one day that we get on the Sunday to get it back out. And then obviously everything up this end is generally a lot smaller than what we normally build. I mean, we haven't got a double across the back here just because we can't put the weight here.
Yeah, so Wembley, so just to clarify that then, Wembley's basically has got the stilts underneath it. Where it's acroed heavily on one side, that's where the obstacles mainly are. On the other side is the whoops, because it's obviously less weight bearing, right?
Yeah.
And then obviously you've got the start, which comes through in the middle. Just on that note, how long does it take you to actually to build a track? To get this turned around on average across the tour?
Mainly 2 days normally.
Yeah.
We do use the full 2 days. We could get it done quicker, but obviously you've got to allow for the dirt coming in, so the lorries are bringing it in and you've got to deal with it, and especially something like this because it gets tipped right at the front and then it gets moved halfway and then the other half has to get pushed with the smaller machine.
So yeah, it is hard, but the other thing is you notice that there's two of us stood here.
Yeah.
It's hard with two of us.
That was my next question, but I'm gonna jump right ahead, right? We know so it's 2 days. What's the hours of sleep that you boys get?
So yesterday, all the dirt come in,
I don't know.
and we did a 17-hour day.
Yeah, and then obviously when the event's finished, you're here as well.
So I think last round in Birmingham, obviously you're at the track at like 8 or whatever, all the way through training, all the way through the evening show, and then we were there. Well, I got into bed at 3:20 in the morning. And then lorries started at 6:45. So then you're back up at 6 to get back in the arena ready to go. So that gives you an idea of sleep deprivation that we have on this tour.
So you're still loving it?
Oh yeah, still good.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's be honest, you were just up here a minute ago measuring up, going about start gates, and started talking about, what you can do different maybe next year, or, so
Yeah.
you love it, don't you?
No, you do like it, and it's. I like it this year as well because all the British riders, a lot of them you can relate to, and we know all of them pretty much, and they're quite all friendly guys and you're quite friendly. You can chat with them, and it's quite nice to see them all race each other again around the track and see them enjoy it. Really, it's quite good.
What's been good as well, there's not been really any moaning.
Right.
Which we love as track builders. It's the first thing, if someone's having a bad day, the first thing is
So what you're saying is the French ain't here?
There's also other nationalities, but I'm not saying that. I'm just saying all the boys that have never done it before have come and done it and gone, wow, this is cool, isn't it? Which it is. Look at Conrad, never ridden in front of a crowd indoors like this before in his life.
And how quick has he got to?
He's picking stuff up every week. He picks something up different so quick, which is this sport is you got to pick it up pretty quick, especially this stuff indoors.
But the whole depth of them as well. Everyone, all the way to the guys that are not qualifying every week. They all look like they're enjoying it, and they're all doing really well. A lot better than I think anyone was expecting.
When you look at that last chance qualifier, right? There's one or two good top names that you think, well, really, they should be in the final.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, like, do you know what I mean? There's one guy, unfortunately, one guy going out,
But
like, he's
then
not in the final.
The head-to-heads are epic, aren't they? And
Yeah.
obviously the LCQ. But I've enjoyed the pro-ams as well. I know, like, them boys have been going.
But like even from 65s, like we've got friends in 65s, in 85s. You know, we've got kids that we've helped before with their tracks and stuff. So we watch every class. Do you know what I mean? To like, so you know people.
So do I.
Yeah. No, but you do. You end up watching and see how they're getting on because you take an actual interest because everyone knows everyone here, which is good.
Does that change your track design when you watch every class? Because my question was like, what level of difficulty do you class this on a scale of 1 to 10?
Look, we've come into this.
Do you know what I mean? Go on, you give me a 1 to 10.
I'd say it's probably not the hardest we've ever built.
Yeah.
But I'd say it's the most consistent we've ever built. We've regulated everything, and we just made sure that all the rhythm lanes are exactly the same. So when these guys are learning it, they're going to learn the same stuff that we're building week in, week out. But then, like Birmingham, that wasn't an easy track.
Yeah.
That was probably the most technical one of the tour.
And these whoops as well.
Yeah, this is a long set of whoops.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is technical as well.
This is good. Like, to be fair, like this here, because of the arena, you've got a straight, which everyone can go fast up at the straight, you know, but it does make it a little bit technical with a flat corner after it and a sort of semi-flat corner before it. So, like, actually flat corners give good racing. We don't like them because it's boring, isn't it? Yeah. But what gives good racing, which everyone that's sat in here is watching, you know. When
you're building these whoops, right, so I heard that there was only meant to be 8. But you lads get a little kick and go, yeah, let's put another 2 in.
We can't count.
No, but when you're building the whoops like this, do you think to yourself as you're shaping them, what level, because you boys have you've been around for a long time doing this now.
Thank you.
So yeah, you have, and you're around the globe, haven't you?
Yeah.
So what level of difficulty are these whoops? There's 10 here.
Right. This is a proper set of whoops, I'd say.
Yeah,
but the only thing that we would say is it possibly break down here.
With the material.
So the material, this stuff does wear down. But I'd say that is a full set of whoops. We would build that at WSX, a world level sort of stuff.
That's Tomac and Roxon level.
Yeah.
That's what we want to know.
But you've got to understand that people come in and go, "Wow, they're massive, bloody hell, what have you?" And their instant reaction is, "Oh, like no one's going to get through them." But as the day goes on, they're getting worn down. Yes, we maintain them as best we can, but that's what the boys are going to be racing. If they want to carry on in this sport, they're going to see that every week.
Yeah.
Right, which is what we gave them. Like Birmingham, there is slightly bigger whoops. Yeah. But we built them exactly the same size, exactly the same dimensions.
And to be fair, not many people did crash on the whoops at Birmingham.
No, it was at the end of them.
Yeah. But they got through it.
Yeah, they got through the whoops. Yeah,
they got through.
No, a lot of them done well.
I think they did.
A
lot better than they did at Aberdeen.
The speed that Conrad was going through in the day, I was thinking,
but it's not Conrad. There's like guys at the back of the pros, which you think they're good motocross riders, and you think, well, I've never seen them indoors before. They're doing the triples. They're doing they're skimming the whoops. Like,
I think we had a few pro ams doing the triples last week at Birmingham. I mean, it was. That's good to see, though. It's good to see progression, isn't it?
It was Rafe Broadley, wasn't it? So Rafe's got history. Obviously, he started off in the 65s doing these as well, so it'll come through.
But I think like Adam Wells and that was doing them as well. There was a few of them doing it. It was quite good
even
to
Josh
see.
Greedy. I know we've seen Josh run all the way through it. Do you know what I mean? It's for as long as I've been here.
They've all been doing.
But they can. It's good that those boys are coming back because they obviously enjoy it and stuff. And it's like there's a progression there, isn't there?
So just on that note, right? The difficulties. So we're aware of what Wembley's are then, okay?
Yeah.
So obviously you wasn't at Belfast, was you?
No, unfortunately not.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Well, not fortunately for me because I've got a little daughter, but unfortunately for the guys,
So that was obviously Joe and you was there.
And Joe done that.
Yeah, and then so what was it? Was there any obstacles that you had to overcome there, or is it just there's something that you always do, a routine when you get to that one?
No, Belfast was again obviously was down to 2 guys. Rose normally we'd have 3, so it'd be me, Joe, and Justin normally. But so no, to be fair, Belfast wasn't that bad. It's on an ice rink there, so it's boarded, which is sometimes when you put it in, you can move the boards, which make it not ideal.
Perfect lighting. Cheers for that.
That's even better. Now we're back on.
We're back on. There you go.
Disco.
The Belfast is the same as it's always been, sort of thing. It's on boards. It's on an ice rink, and then there's the 4th lane over. to the right of the arena as you come in. That's just off the board. So it's only basically when it comes to clearing up at the end that the difficulty is there. But it wasn't that bad. That Belfast was okay.
And that was good racing, wasn't it? Because of obviously the rhythm sections.
Yeah, I thought it was quite good. It was quite good, that
and
one.
And that surprised, didn't it? Because you actually changed it a little bit, didn't you?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I should have.
Yeah, but again, like we've gone off previously what we've done, and I think we end up losing one single on each lane, but just to keep like the regulation there, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Which I think was good. It was better because then we've kept through the rest, like all 6 rounds, they're all the same. Yeah. And the guys are all learning still, aren't they? Well, they're not. They're doing pretty well now. But you know, like they're used to what we're building.
Could you imagine if they went back to that now?
Yeah.
They'd be like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? At that time, weren't they? They were like, I don't know about this. All right. And then it was, no, it's safe. Oh, actually, when I rode my bike on it, it was a lot better, a lot easier, wasn't it?
The first day we used it, when they first come in and they was all got together and they were all like geeing each other up, like, oh, that's too much, this is too much, oh, that's too scary, this and that. And then it was fine. It was absolutely fine.
And what's also quite it's tiring for us, but 2 days, the first day everyone's got nervous, gets it, but the second day go, oh, I've ridden it, it's all right, I know the track, you know. So they get used to it, and like I said, if they tripled there, then they can triple in Aberdeen, they can triple in Birmingham, they can triple stuff here. It's the same distance. Go on.
Yeah, I was just going to say the only thing was Aberdeen was a little bit.
That's what I was going to say. Aberdeen. Obviously the difficulties there. That venue's brilliant, right?
Oh, there's nice
so
arena,
much
that one.
There, yeah. And it's so it's real. And then obviously now that Matt's got the dirt, so that'll be fine now.
Yeah, hopefully that's going to be sorted for next year, sort of thing.
But yeah, just touch on that on obviously the bit because it come good, didn't it?
Yeah,
okay, a lot better. Than
all right, we had a 44-hour day.
That's what we need to hear.
In Aberdeen. So if people, a lot of people go, you can't do a 44-hour day, but like we did.
Yeah.
That was a lot of work, but to get the track to where it was, you needed to do that.
The boys were more praising you about the track there anyway. They fully understand. I felt that all the riders totally knew the situation, and the track that you turned around was, as far as I'm concerned, and everybody else. When you were speaking to them, they were just so appreciate, like they
I think
so much.
Which was nice because obviously previously we have done this work previously, but this year we just I think they've seen it a little bit more in the light of what we have to do. That was an exceptionally hard one. But it worked, and obviously what we had to do to get the job done, it was good.
It was depending on who you spoke to regarding with the whoops, though, right? So so you built the whoop because the topic is the whoops, isn't it?
Always is.
Because you like to
that was a full set of whoops as well, wasn't it?
There's a rumour going around that you like to build them small, for Adam.
No. He would prefer. He would prefer. Wheel tap Chatfield. Like he'd love this actually this weekend because it's having 90 degrees, and he'd go, oh, I'd love that.
But you built them thinking they were going to kind of break down.
Yeah,
they didn't. Did they?
No, they didn't.
They stayed up.
They were the only thing that did stay up.
Yeah, they were the things we looked at and we went, we don't actually have to grade them today. So all right. And what happens in it is sort of like, is varied opinion on it. Like the guys were like, oh, it's too big. So yeah, we did get asked to make them a bit smaller, but then you make them a little bit smaller, everyone can sort of do them, and then there was crashes in them.
Yeah.
So do you know what I mean? There's a very fine line in what you do with them. That's why Belfast you had these size whoops. All right, there's only 7 or 8 of them, but it was the first round to get everyone used to them. Birmingham, we had a full big set of whoops, and everyone's used to them.
Yeah.
So
I think what was there though was like the sort of, you could see it as soon as the first bike went out on track. For us, it looked mega. Like when we finished Aberdeen, it was like it looked good. We was pretty like. Obviously, we'd just worked quite long on it as well. So it was it was worth doing. But then when the bikes went out, you could see it was zapping the power out of the bikes a little bit. So like the triples were getting really hard to do. The whoops were zapping the power a little bit, and you thought, that was a little bit disappointing for us. But grippy. I mean, like we thought we had it a little bit better than what we did.
You went out and rolled them though, didn't you? And then that was different. Like
we worked on them and worked on them.
It was.
We was working all weekend. It was getting better and better as the weekend went on.
Once that dirt is screened and we've got a little bit more clay in it, which we're going to do, add a bit more. And of course, that arena didn't give us.
It was hot in there, though, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it was hot. Yeah, I know it was hot. Yeah, it dried out. It was lovely t-shirt weather work.
The manager was right on side with
that.
Yeah,
he was right on side with that. But that arena. I mean, obviously, depending on what Matt wants to do, but that's got so much potential to actually have a big track in there, a proper big track, and we did actually have a bit more planned in there, but for time scale, dirt coming in, like, you know, it was just, it didn't lend itself to that. So, but what we turned round and produced was good racing in that, wasn't it?
It was
really good racing. And the amateur pro-am class at that place, I was getting messages the whole way through that going, this is the best race. Oh, look, flames on. Dinner's ready.
We're cooking in here, boys.
The flames, that amateur pro-amateur race was awesome to watch. We were sat on the machines, like, we sit and watch every race, like, because we're fans at the end of it as well. I'm sure Alfie would be out there racing, but like,
he's out, and he's on the freestyle ramp normally with me.
Yeah,
we're having a nice little chat.
Look at that. But that's
God,
also
in that line, wasn't it?
going back.
Chat filled up the inside. He knows.
He's everywhere. He's not jumping anything. It's still got a lap time. Look, I think that's also part of it this year. It's a little bit more community based. Like, everyone in the motocross community knows us, or we know them, do you know what I mean, which is great, and I think that's a little bit more that, like, we feel better for it because we get a little bit more appreciation for it, and the guys, like, know how hard it is to do it, rather than just go, oh, why haven't you done that, why haven't you done this? They're just like, oh,
why didn't you rip it, roll it,
all of that,
a bit dusty in this
why ain't you got grass growing on it?
You know what you need, a ski jump.
We've got one this week. We haven't got to ask for one, so we've got one.
And then going into Birmingham, boys, right? So Birmingham, that was more of a technical track, wasn't it? I mean, you's really kind of put your mark a little bit more on that.
That's the dirt that allows us to do it.
Admittedly, So I mean, touch on that in a minute. But first of all, before we get to the dirt, let's talk about what machines you like for the job. Because at Birmingham, obviously, you had a system, didn't you?
Oh,
so you didn't have to worry about the floor.
No, floor was pretty good there. To be fair, Birmingham Arena's very good for us to build with.
And you had good dirt, and then you really sculpted what you wanted to do there. So what were the machines?
So Jake gave us a 120 Volvo loading shovel, which is like perfect size for building. Like one for loading the dirt into place so we can build it with the dozer. Obviously the dozer and the loader are the first two key important machines when we're doing it. As we built, dozer and loader whoops, it goes to show we didn't really have to touch them all weekend. But I mean, we graded them up in between the night show, but when you've got the right kit, it makes so much.
So the right kit is what? Go on, Alf. Because would you like to? You normally drive. You're
predominantly, I guess I've been in dozer most of this, but we've got real good dozer from him. But anything, but like we can jump in any one, like it'd be in the dozer, I'll be in the loader. But when they're all real good, you're not worried.
It sounds silly. There's two of us, but actually in reality, we need sort of like 5-6 machines.
And that's what I mean. That's why I'm asking. Because it seems like you've got 10 pieces of kit out there, and when we say him or Jake, that's True 7 Group, right?
Yeah, True 7. True.
So he's come through, and the machines we touched on this before have been.
Oh yeah, you're dealing with like. Yeah, you're dealing with Jake and Guy. Like they're not. There's no old rum-old bits of kit there. It's all good, new, top of the range kit. Like there's no questions asked there. So you can't be any more thankful for them. I mean, So we go dozer, loader, excavator, 2 skid steers. Like that's our
perfect
for in here.
Yeah. And then you've got your own little system, how you work, how you operate. Same thing there. Through the night. So how many? That was probably one of the easiest and quickest turnarounds, wasn't it, for you that track? Would you say?
Well, to be fair, this probably has, but we're missing a lane of dirt.
Right.
So there's still another lane of track, effectively, because you've got long start straight through the middle. So you're effectively missing a lane.
And that helps us. Well, if we didn't have the floor issues, having a start up the middle, because then you can get the loader around and everything. Whereas if like Birmingham, you had to build everything. Well, to be fair, we built a floor and built it properly with the loader, but you kind of got to work your way back out the arena and work your way to the front.
And what about the dirt here this time? Because we were saying for the area.
So you're in the centre, near enough the centre of London, and dry dirt in this time of year. All right, at the moment you probably get it outside because it's been dry this year, but like a lot of the years you don't get dry. So this is a recycled material basically. So it's crushed brick, rock, everything crushed down to a sort of dust, and then they screen it 20 mil to dust. So it's a recycled aggregate type product. We call it crusher dust, but I mean there's several other names for it. But that's what we got, and it works, you know.
What do you reckon regarding on this? Is this going to hold up, stay up? What do you reckon? How is it?
It breaks down. We've had Ollie's been out watering like all day just to try and water the turns, just to get them to like, have a bit of body turn so it holds. Whereas like if it's coming quite dry, which is obviously every other year, but like when it's these sort of months, you can never get dry dirt this time of year. So every other year it's been like absolutely
and in the centre of London, there's no dirt to be done.
To have this sort of stuff because we can build with it. Like it holds and. It's and we can build with it, you know. Obviously, otherwise we'd be like Aberdeen, and we have to be mixing lime or whatever to try and dry it out.
We'll cut that lime out.
It's what we have to do. It gets it done, doesn't it? And that's you know, it's not just us that does it. Other people do it as well to get wet dirt dry.
The heating ain't so high up in this place. So
But no. So back to the soil, it probably will break down ever so slightly. But on the other flip side for us, it's quite easy to fix. It's not like a rock hard boulder clay that when you're trying to patch stuff in, it's really hard. It patches back in pretty quick. So if it breaks down, we can fix it pretty quick. It's quite good in that respect, but it does.
If the same sort of like, how can you say? The body of it, so the dust to stone was a sand and clay mix, perfect dirt. But in London, you know, it's perfect for in here, really. Yes, it will break down a little bit, we'll be on top of it, but it does also create a little bit of good racing because some bits are grippy and some bits are a little bit unpredictable.
Right.
So, like, if you do, like, you know,
and it breaks down through the final, doesn't it?
So, breaks down, so it changes.
Like with the bikes out on track, it does break down, and obviously you've got to be a good rider to keep adjusting to it. So I think.
The ground.
What
do you think then? Who's winning it? Come on.
Do you know what? I like both. Okay, we're talking about Tommy and Conrad here, really.
Yeah, we're not on about what you like.
Yeah, so
who's going to win?
Do you know what? Both of them deserve it. That's all I can say. Conrad, fair play to him. Tommy's been around the block. He knows the score. He's rode in America. He knows what he's got to do to win, right?
Yeah.
Conrad's young and hungry. It's a British Championship.
I think they're both very excited and keen for it. Well, I don't think they both
they are.
Yeah.
They
might try and hide it as well, but I reckon
they're keen, they are.
But I reckon you'll probably try and get one of the others that will want to win as well. Because obviously Jack's had how many podiums now and not had the win. He's been there, but not.
And then look at Joe last week. Unfortunately, he had that, but he was gone. That was Joe's race.
And them two boys across these whoops probably will be a little bit better.
Tommy and Conrad showed that they've got whoop speed. Even Sean Simpson was the first one to hit the whoops in Aberdeen, and he was the only one to pre-skim them before Joe and Jack were there. We were like, fair play, Sean. He's skimming it. It's 6 a.m. and he's having a go at skimming whoops. Like, so do you know what I mean? It's not.
I don't think it's just down to them two for the event. Obviously, for the championship, for them two.
Championship. I mean, you're silly not to bet on Tommy because he does sort of pull it out the bag.
He's got good racecraft.
And he's got good racecraft. He's been, always,
he always manages to step up a level, doesn't he? So he's been around the block. He's a wise old dog. He gets out the gate, and when it comes to that thing, he always manages to find that extra level.
When there's a few pound notes on the final line as well, it makes a bit of a difference, doesn't it? So I think he's got the racecraft. But do you know what? If Conrad's in front of him,
even behind him,
he catches him up. But if Conrad is in front of him,
how quick Conrad's caught, how quick he's adapted to the racing indoors, been impressive, and he's just got faster and faster, and he has shown some real good speed, hasn't he? And he does seem to be. I mean, this is going to go out afterwards, right? But he does seem to be a little bit more settled, comfortable. I don't know what that is, whether that's Dave Thorpe bringing out, and maybe installing more confidence, or him just getting more confidence as he's getting older. But you can clearly see it in his riding that he is.
Maybe he's found a new sport. Maybe he's found because he technically.
I hear what you're saying. Outdoors to win. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I worked with him back when he was 85 world champion. I used to go down and do his little track, and we built stuff that develop his skills. Do you know what I mean? And there was a section that we built, and I built it. He said, we want to build some, there was some big rollers I built. I said, I'll tell you what, I'll build what there was at Millsats for training facility, which is basically what was in Aberdeen almost. So it was triple double, or double triple, or something like that. So it was a rhythm, and fair play, he had it on his 125. So it's not something he hasn't seen before, but it's a long time ago, those skills, and he's adjusted to them very, very quickly. and maybe he's gone, oh, his technical ability is amazing, you know, like you look at him and he's like, he's even asking us questions about riding, and we're like, Con, you're doing it fine, why are you asking? Like,
yeah.
So
he's keen. So is he winning?
Yeah, if he gets out front, I think it'd be a hard one to catch.
And vice versa, right?
And vice versa. Tommy's got the go. He puts the hammer down.
Tommy seems to put himself in that position every time. If
That's
you had to bet on the two, I would
say Tommy.
I wouldn't want to bet against Conrad, but obviously if you
you're
was putting money on it, I'd say Tommy.
Just for,
but it's like it's 50-50 basically. But if it was,
you're better off betting on third, fifth, and
ninth.
I'd
rather yeah,
more fun.
Right, so we're a little bit undecided on who's going to win.
Yeah.
Because it is pretty much that close. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
like
fair enough.
But it's good though. How good is that? The championships come down to the last round.
Put them in the head-to-head.
Oh,
Imagine if they have a pile up in the first one. Because
I want to ask him, as in like, okay, so it's coming to the checkered flag, last turn, you're both in it, like going across together. Who's going out? Who's going out the stadium?
There's a little corner there, but they might be cutting the corner off the freestyle ramp as well, mightn't they? Do you know what I mean? Any advantage?
Well, Conrad's already got one up on Tommy, hasn't he?
Yeah,
so it's
Tommy
probably
gave him a little love tap for Birmingham, though, didn't he?
Yeah.
But it's tongue in cheek with them. They're good.
Yeah, they're mates and that, so it's like a bit tongue in cheek. But I don't know. But then again, you know, there's always next year as well.
True.
Do you know what I mean? Like, Conrad's got the time thing on his side, I think, maybe. I don't know.
So it's going to be good. No matter, the bottom line is you're living off no sleep.
Yeah.
And you're going to be able to watch the main.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we'll always be watching.
Keeps us awake.
Yeah, right. I mean, it would be nice to have a beer with it, but we've got to drive heavy machinery afterwards, so it ain't happening.
What track out of the full tour would you most like to ride? If you could go back, do you know what I mean? Like
what?
This
tour here?
The Arenacross tour.
Birmingham, yeah.
And Newcastle,
yeah, Birmingham, yeah.
Yeah, Birmingham was the one.
Well, ending on that.
Yeah, sweet.
Cheers, boys.